Every single day, someone comes up to me after failing their test and says the same thing. I don't understand. I didn't hit anything. I didn't run a light. I didn't even do anything wrong. Here's the secret. You probably don't do the one thing wrong. I did five small things wrong. The examiner is trained to watch for, and they never tell you you notice them. I've sat in the passenger seat. I've watched their scorecard get filled up in real time. And today, we're going to walk you through the actual categories the examiners score you on, the ones that no one explains to you before test day. So you stop guessing and start passing. 100 real questions, straight answers. Let's go. I want to welcome you in. We're going to talk about category 1. These are instant fail traps. And it's something so simple that a lot of you do this all the time. So let's go ahead and get it. I'm almost embarrassed to say it. Is forgetting to fasten the seatbelt really an automatic fail? And the answer is yes. It is one of the few things that ends the test before you even pull out of the lot. It's checked before the car moves. Next. What counts as an incomplete stop? Showing the near zero without a full complete stop at the stop line. Rolling stops are one of the most common cited automatic fails behavior nationally. In my videos, I always talk about stopping and having the silent count. 1001, 1002, and 1003. If you're not doing that, you're going to fail instantly. Next. Does one instant fail mean the whole test stops immediately? Not always. Some examiners let you finish the route for feedback purposes, but the result is already locked in. So in your mind, you're thinking, I'm still passing. I'm still passing. Crickets. You're not still passing. They're going to let you go through the test, but you've already failed. They're going to do it for feedback purposes. So in a way, they're kind of building you up for nothing. And that does happen sometimes because feedback is extremely important. I've always told you this. Whenever you look at my videos, I give you feedback. Next. Can I get an instant fail for something a passenger car does? Not me. No. But your reaction to it is scored. Panicking, freezing, in response to another driver on you. Example, a left turn. You making a right turn on red. You stopped. You thought you looked to the left, but you didn't. And then you pull out, and out of the corner of your eye, like you side-eyeing someone, you see a car coming. And you're like, I've already started my turn. Do I hesitate or go? Reaction and panicking are two different things. Next. Is failing to yield to a pedestrian really that serious? It's consistently one of the top cited serious fail faults published in test data. It directly signals a safety risk to a real person. I'm going to say it again. It is consistently one of the top cited serious faults in published test data. It's a direct signal to safety risk of a real person. And it's not magic. You simply need to stop, look, and make eye contact. It's really important that all of you do this. Next, what if I go over the speed limit for 1 second passing someone? Context matters. But sustained speeding, not momentary drift, is what actually triggers a serious fault. So if you had to quickly pass someone, you can make this maneuver, but get back down to that speed limit. Don't play. A lot of you do play with speed because you always ask me, can I go over the limit? And I always tell you, no, you cannot go over the limit. But you're not going to listen to your uncle. You're not going to listen to me. You're going to continue to do what you want. That's why you fail. Next, does needing the examiner to grab the wheel or brake always fail me? Duh, yes. Any physical intervention. Bro, I don't know what that means. If the examiner has to physically grab the wheel, hit the brake, you fail. It's treated as a safety critical event. I'll say it again. You're saying, wow, tonight you're saying some big words, bro. No, I'm telling you, the automatic fails. You need to be listening to me. Does needing the examiner to grab the wheel or brake always equal an automatic fail? Yes. Any physical intervention, contact, turning the wheel to the left, to the right, grabbing the wheel to keep you from crashing is a fail. It's a safety critical event. You need to lock in and make sure you know what you're doing. Because if you can't control the car, then you don't need to be taking your test. Real talk. You have to be able to control your car when you take the test. So again, if an instructor, a test examiner has to touch the wheel, grab the wheel, hit the brake, automatic fail. You're like, wow, this is serious. So in your mind, you can't go to a testing event if you can't even control the car. Can running a still yellow light, if I was already committed, be looked at as a fail? Well, we're going to pause for a moment. I'm going to let you think on that. Thank you, Bailey. I appreciate you. Okay, some of you are giving me wrong information. I'm the instructor. Let's break it down. Can running a still yellow light fail me if I was already committed? Being appropriately committed and unable to stop safely is judged differently than blowing through carelessly. Judgment call, documented either way. If you can slow down safely in 1001, 1002, and 1003 seconds, you need to stop. So they are judged differently. You can fail either way. So you need to be aware, and it's really important. And thank you, Bailey, for saying that you've gotten better. I really appreciate you. Shouting you out, Bailey. Much appreciation, much love. Is a wrong turn an instant fail? Okay, we're getting down to this, and I want to keep it going. It's a wrong turn and instant fail. Let's go ahead and break this down. Wrong turns, instant fail. Type in what you think. It's a wrong turn and instant fail. And thank you for the hearts. Wrong turn, instant fail. No, a wrong turn corrected safely is usually just a minor. Panicking and creating a hazard while correcting it is the actual risk. So if you calmly slow down, check your mirrors, do your maneuver, you're probably going to be okay. But we're all human. Everyone's different. Number 10, what is the one instant fail people never see coming? I want you to take a moment and think about this. What is the one instant fail people never see coming? I need you to go ahead and put that in. Thank you for the hearts. Let's keep it going. I'm going to give you a moment to think about this. If you're having fun on this stream tonight, type in fun. I'm having fun. I'm going to type it in. I'm having fun. If you're having fun, type in fun in the stream. And we're going to talk about the instant fail. You need to be locking this in. If you're having fun, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Bailey. Appreciation. Okay, what is the one thing instant fail people never see coming? Not checking blind spots before merging or changing lanes. It costs you nothing when it works until it doesn't. My daughter, because I was in the back seat and the state examiner was in the front seat, my daughter did not look over her left shoulder to check her blind spot when she merged. I was kicking that chair like, girl. She's like, Dad, why are you kicking my chair? You don't look over your blind spot. So she picked up a minor. Real talk. Category 2. Let's go ahead and get it. What examiners are really watching? Observation and mirrors. We're going to break this down. Do examiners really watch my mirror habits during the whole test? I want you to put in yes or no. What do you think before we even answer this? Here we go. Do examiners really watch my mirror habits the whole test? The answer is yes. Mirror checks are one of the most frequently logged fault categories in the official UK test data, and you as examiners are trained the same way. You have to check your mirrors. I look at a lot of comments you guys leave. Check your mirrors. Your life could depend on it. Next, how often should I check my mirrors? If not, no rule stated. That's the next big question I get asked. How often should I check my mirrors? How often should I check my mirrors? Well, we're going to talk about it right now. What's up, Alex? How you doing? Hopefully you're enjoying the stream tonight. Tell your friends, come on in. We are having fun. We're talking about 100 of the most common faults in the UK and the United States road test. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of learning. We're going to be relaxed and chilled. We're just learning and building our community, okay? That's what I want you to think of. And Alex, thank you for coming aboard. The question is, how often should I check my mirrors if there is no rule stated? Before every speed change, turn, lane change, not on a timer or trigger. So if you're changing speed, you check your mirrors. If you are changing lanes, you check your mirrors. If you're turning, you guessed it, you check your mirrors? Next, do I get penalized for checking my mirrors too much? That's the next question I get. And we're going to talk about some of the common questions. Go ahead, feel free to answer that, Alex. It's really important. Do I get penalized for checking my mirrors too much? What's that, P? Particularly, no. You do not get penalized. I said paralyzed. You did not get penalized for overchecking your mirrors. It rarely costs points. Underchecking almost always does. So remember some of these golden rules. Let's keep going. What is a head check, and do I actually need one? That's a good question. Head check. We're talking about head checks. Feel free to answer those questions, Alex. They're popping in there right now. What is a head check? A physical shoulder glance to your blind spot. I'm doing one right now. I'm checking my left blind spot. I'm checking my right blind spot. I'm checking my left blind spot. You have to do a head check. Mirrors only miss the blind spots entirely. The examiners are trained to notice if you skip. I told you my daughter lost points. She looked in her mirror, but she did not check over her shoulder. -1. Next, does the examiner watch my eyes or just my driving? Put in the chat what you think. Do they just watch your eyes or do they just watch your driving? They actually do both. Scanning behavior, where your head turns, is part of how they judge awareness, not just the car's movement. When you look at my videos, I'm always talking about scanning to the left, scanning in the middle, scanning to the right. We have to have head movement. If we're making a right turn, after we come to a complete stop and we check to see if we can't turn on red, I need to see you looking to the left. If not, I know we're going to get hit. I deliberately put my foot on the brake, stop the car, and look. I lean behind you. And if you don't look, I'm marking you down. That's a dangerous maneuver. Let's keep going. Do I fail if I miss a mirror check once? It's a great question. Do I fail if I miss a mirror check once? Thank you. Thank you, Alex, for being interactive. And the answer is, once missed is usually a minor. A pattern of misses gets upgraded to a serious fall. When you're driving, I want to see you checking your mirror. If you're making a lane change, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Mirror, turn signal, blind spot. If you look to the left or right, I'm okay with that. But I really want that blind spot because I have a large mirror. In our driver's ed car, we have a dual mirror setup and a dual brake setup. When you take your road test, you're going to be in your own vehicle or a vehicle you rented for the road tester's facility, which is $75 to $150. You always want to build good habits of checking mirrors. And this section is mainly, you guessed it, on mirrors. And a lot of people have questions on this. Okay, so let's keep going. And I appreciate you, Alex, for being here. Let's keep going. Okay, we're going to give a shout out to Alex. That's for you, Alex. I appreciate you. Okay, here we go. Is it bad to check mirrors at a red light for no reason? Again, is it bad to check mirrors for a red light at no reason? Put in what you think. Is it bad to check mirrors at a red light for no reason? I'll give you time. I'm eating chicken fried rice. What are you eating? Type it in right now. I'm going to show you what I'm eating. I'm eating that chicken fried rice. I ran out of chopsticks, so I'm eating that chicken fried rice and gravy. What are you guys eating right now? I'm eating good. Type in what you're eating. Right? We're here enjoying the live stream. We're living our best life. We're answering questions. We're responding. I'm eating that chicken fried rice and that gravy. Eating good. What are you eating? Type it in for me. And I have some great coffee, fresh. Love it. So we're talking about, is it bad to check the mirror on a red light? Again, type in what you're eating. Turkey sandwich. Alex, you eating good. Woo! Got that turkey sandwich. I love that. Love that. Eating good. We all eating good. We trying to eat good. Let's keep it real. Okay, so the question is it bad to check your mirrors at a red light for no reason? The answer is no, it's not. This reads as a good habit, not a red flag. I love for my students, when we're stopped, I want to see them glance up, check that mirror to see who's coming. I have a mirror behind me. Remember, we're in a driver's head car. We have a dual mirror, one on the passenger, one on the driver. I have a brake on my side. I do not have a gas pedal, and I do not have a steering wheel. So you need to be checking those mirrors, and that's a good sign. Number 18, do examiners care if I check my mirror before braking, not just before turning? Okay, we're taking our time with these questions. I really want you to think. I really want you to understand, and I really want you to engage. Okay, if you just joined us, I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach adults and teens. We're talking about the 100 common failures across the United States and the UK. We're breaking each one down. I'm giving you examples. We are chilling and just living our best life. I'm so happy you're here, and I really want you to enjoy this. Facts. All right, so let's talk about this. The answer is, do examiners want you to check your mirrors before braking and not just turning? The answer is yes. They want you to check their mirrors. Braking is a speed change. Check your mirror. And speed changes are one of the standard mirror check triggers. Speed changes, mirror check. Next, what is the most missed mirror check specifically? A lot of you have questions, but you're not asking questions like this. So if I'm bringing you value, drop a heart, drop a like, considering subscribing, because we are taking it to the next level. I really want you to feel good about this live. I really want you to enjoy it. And we're talking about things to help you pass. So the question is, what is the most missed mirror check specifically? Before pulling away from a parked or stopped position. People check for turns, but forget to check before simply pulling off. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the love. Let's keep it going. Can a good mirror habit offset shaky maneuvers? You're great at checking mirrors, but you're kind of all over the road. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, you're a little shaky. Okay, you checking the mirrors real good, but you're kind of all over the road. Let's put in what you think. You checking those mirrors. Okay. So the question is, again, can a good mirror habit offset shaky maneuvers elsewhere? It won't erase a serious fault, but considered awareness is exactly what shifts borderline pass or borderline fail to the decision in your favor. Okay, if I have a student who's all over the road, but they're trying to check mirrors, mirror, turn signal, blind spot, they're looking over shoulders, I'm going to be in consideration, but I'm still going to grade you very hard because we have to be safe. If you're enjoying this, type yes into the chat. If you're enjoying this, type yes into the chat. I'm enjoying this because we're taking our time. I'm getting through my categories. We're explaining what to do, and we have a great group of people tonight. Category 3, right of way and intersections. We're talking about the next category. Okay? We're talking about the next category. You need to lock in. Category 3, right of way. Let's go ahead and break this down. Do intersections cause most anxiety on test day? Again, do intersections cause most anxiety on test day? If you believe yes, type yes in the chat. If you believe no, type no into the chat. I'll say it again. Do most intersections cause the most test anxiety on test day? Thank you for the badge, Victor. Because they demand 3 things at once. Demand. That's strong. That's powerful. 1, they demand observation. 2, they demand judgment. And 3, they demand timing. If any of you are weak at any of those 3, it's a fail. They're watching all of those at the same time. I'm an instructor. I did 5 hours today. Observation is critical. Okay? What is the actual rule at an unmarked intersection? What is the actual rule at an unmarked intersection? If you're getting value right now, type that like, tap that heart, consider subscribing. We are trying to get all of you to the next level of freedom, of passing your test, of getting your permit, of living your best lifestyle. And I am just blessed to be here in this moment just to guide you and to get through this list. This is a lot. Okay, again, is excessive hesitating at a 4-way stop worse than going too early? Excessive hesitation that confuses the other drivers can in itself be marked as a fault. You need to be confident. You need to have correct timing, and you need to be more than just cautious. Intersections are some of the most demanding areas. You don't hear other instructors talking about this. I'm breaking this boy down. And if you listen to me, you're going to have the passing theories behind you. What is an actual rule at an unmarked intersection? We did a master class on this and we talked about it. This is your master class right now. Okay? Lock in. Let's break this down. What is the actual rule in an unmarked intersection? The first to arrive is the first to go. That is the, no pun intended, the first thing to do. But you guys aren't going to listen to me. You're going to turn this live off. You're going to log out. You need to lock in through the whole thing because you're going to say, man, I wish I would have watched this live. I wish I would have watched the whole masterclass because I'm giving you facts. What is the actual rule at an unmarked intersection? The first car to arrive is the first car to go. If it is simultaneous, the driver on the right typically has the right of way. Then trips up more test takers than anything else. The car on the right usually has the right of way, meaning the car on the left yields to the car on the right. That's one of the most common questions I get all the time. T-I-M-E. Let's keep going. Let's keep locking in. If you're still here in the chat, type yes. If you are still here in the chat, type yes. If you're still here in the chat, type yes. Here we go. Let's keep going. Do I fail for creeping into an intersection while waiting to turn left? Do I fail creeping into an intersection while waiting to turn left? Positioning here is commonly scored, and I look at it very closely too. You generally want the wheel straight until you're clear to turn to avoid being pushed into oncoming traffic if hit from behind. It's so important that we understand this. Does the examiner expect me to know unwritten intersection etiquette? Again, does the examiner expect me to know unwritten intersection etiquette? Okay, we're talking about intersections, one of the high fail rates. I'm going to pause for a second, and I want you to tell me what you think. I'm going to read the question again. Does the examiner expect me to know unwritten intersection etiquette? Hey guys. Guys, I'm having a great time. If you're having fun right now, type fun into the chat. Again, if you're having fun right now, type fun into the chat. Really important. Okay, let's talk about this. Does the examiner expect me to know unwritten intersection etiquette? The answer is no. They're scoring you on the legal right-of-way rules, not social norms, even if local driving culture sometimes suggests otherwise. This is why a lot of you, when you get on these platforms, you're looking at what are the social norms. You need to look at the legal right-of-way rules. You need to look at what is the legal thing to do. Next, what's the most common right-of-way mistake specifically? I need you to type this in. What is the most common right-of-way mistake specifically? Take your time, put that in, and tell me, what do you think is the most common legal way, right of rule mistake? I'll pause for a second. I'm done pausing. Turning left across traffic without being certain the gap is truly clear, not probably clear. So you need to know about gaps and spacing. We never want to shoot a gap. This is when we get broadsided, and people won't be clapping, they'll be crying. We don't want to put ourselves in danger. The one thing that you always see on my content when I put it together, we are doing the right maneuvers. We are safe. We are consistent. We're always being a defensive driver. I always want you to remember this. This next question is more toward the Midwest. And if you're in the Midwest, type in yes. If you're in the Midwest. The Midwest consists of Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, just to name a few. Do roundabouts or traffic circles trip people up in the Midwest? They are certainly less common than in the UK. I want to be clear, but our UK brothers and sisters, we have roundabouts just like you do. What is exactly why unfamiliar to yourself becomes the risk on test day? Some instructors will take you to the specific area to go through a roundabout. You have to be prepared for it. Always be prepared because you never know what that tester may do. Is it a fault to wave another driver through when I technically have the right of way? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to say it again. Is it a fault to wave another driver through when I technically have the right of way? I'll pause for a second. Still waiting for people to answer. Is it a fault to wave another driver through when I technically have the right of way? It can create confusion. That's scored as a hesitation or communication fault. The safest move is to usually take your right of way clearly and predictably. If you're enjoying this right now, give us a thumbs up. Drop a rose. Hey, everyone, consider subscribing. We are going through the top 100 faults that cause people to fail in the United States and the UK. Let's keep going. Now we're talking about pedestrians. Really important. And we're going to break this down. Why do examiners want to see the pedestrians at the intersection? Again, a very important question. Okay? Before we answer, I'm having some yogurt. What are you eating? What snack are you smashing right now? I'm having some yogurt. Tastes healthy. It's a strawberry, banana, and peach. What are you eating right now? Type it in the chat. I'm living my best life. You know why? I'm just being real with all of you. We're not being fake. We are being real. What are you eating right now? I'm eating yogurt. Huh? Very good. Tastes great. Taking our time. What are you eating? Type it in. This tastes great. Okay, let's get back to the question. What do examiners want to see with pedestrians at intersections? We want to see a full stop, period. And a clear, unhurried yield. That's why that 3-second yield is so important. 1001, 1002, and 1003. Unhurried yield. Treat as one of the most serious categories in published fault data. That's one of the most serious. Next. Why do so many people fail on left turns specifically? Again, we're talking about left turns. Why do so many people fail specifically on left turns? It is a single maneuver combining the most variables. Sounds like a math problem. And we want the math in our favor. We want to make a short, shallow turn. If you make a wide, slow left turn, the odds are against us that we will get hit. Yield to oncoming traffic judgment. 2, pedestrian awareness. And 3, positioning all at once. Again, this is like a 3-point basketball. You got to yield to traffic judgment. You have to have pedestrian awareness and position all at once. that is critical for us to effectively manage a good left turn. Very important. And let's continue. Category 4, parking maneuvers and vehicle control. If you're still here, type fun into the chat. If you're still here, type fun into the chat. If you're still here, type fun into the chat. Hello, E. How are you? If you're still here, type fun into the chat. Really, very important. If you're still here, type fun into the chat. Why do so many people fail left turn specifically? I want to welcome all of you in. It's a single maneuver combining 3 variables. 1, oncoming traffic judgment. 2, positional or pedestrian awareness. And 3, position of your car. All 3 of those variables are critical. Now, we're talking about parking maneuvers and vehicle control. I get a lot of questions on this. Tips on driving on gravel roads. Gravel's like little bitty ball bearings. You need to reduce your speed just before you get back onto the asphalt or concrete surface, because what? You could spin out. I appreciate you asking that question. Thank you, B. I appreciate you. Lock me in. I'll lock you back. All right, let's talk about this. Is parallel parking still a common tested? It varies by test route, examiner, but vehicle control maneuvers remain a part of the standard skills observation. You have to know what's going on. You need to know what's going on. And it is so important. Okay? It depends on the zone and area you were in. I need more context than saying going 40. What is the speed limit? If you momentarily pass a car and you have to pick up speed, that's okay. But if you're maintaining speed, going 40 into 35, that's bad. On gravel, you need to slow down just before you get off the gravel. It should be okay, but remember, gravel is a crown-shaped road, and if you go to the edge, you're going to fall off the road to the right. If you go to the edge, you're going to fall off the road to the left. So I would reduce speed and see about 35 to 45. After about 50, you're going to be fish-shelling all over the road. I appreciate that question. So we're talking about parallel parking now. Okay, my dad usually does 80 on gravel. Your dad does not do 80 on gravel. Stop playing. You'll lose control. I love when people just say random stuff. Dads do not do 80 on gravel. You will lose control. So let's talk about parallel parking. It varies from test route and examiner, but vehicle control maneuvers are part of the standard evaluation. What is the number one reason people fail parking maneuvers? I need you guys to type it in. Type it in, parking maneuvers. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this. I have someone saying their dad does it. He drives perfect while doing it. And I put that on his life that he does. Well, you can put that on his life, but as a instructor, I'm not driving 80 on gravel because you will definitely spin out. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. If your dad does it and you put it on his life and your life, I'm going to applaud you. I just applauded you. If that's good for you, then I'm happy for you. But that's not good for me and my students. So you live your life. All right, so let's talk about this. Is parallel parking still a common test tested? It varies from test route, the examiner, but vehicle control maneuvers remain a part of the evaluation. You got to be able to control your vehicle, okay? And this is really important. I'm in the Midwest. I'm a state certified driving instructor. Where are you guys from? Type in where you're from. I'm from the Midwest, and I'm going to go ahead and type that in, Midwest. Shouting out the Midwest, really important. Okay, where are you guys from? Iowa. Hey, I've been to Iowa before. Beautiful area. Okay, been to Upper Iowa University, Des Moines, Iowa. Okay, beautiful area. Now let's go ahead and keep going. What is the number one reason people fail parking maneuvers? The number one reason people fail parking maneuvers. Let's go ahead and keep going on this. Failing parking maneuvers. What's the number one reason why people fail parking maneuvers? What's the number one reason why people fail parking maneuvers? No, I do not. Curb distance is the number one thing. You're too far away. You're too far out or you're hitting the curb. It both costs you points. If you're too far away, you get points. If you're too close, you get points. Your driver said, teacher, I understand. And most people only practice for one or the other outcomes. I try to have my students practice consistently. When we drove tonight in the Mount Clemens Trap area, and yes, Logan Paul did sell his Pikachu Illustrator card. He bought it for $5.2 million. He sold it for over $16.5 million. I know you guys don't believe me, but a lot of people in the downtown Mount Clemens Trap area are looking for Pokemon. If you are a Pokemon aficionado, type yes into the chat. If you are a Pokemon aficionado, you collect cards, you do Pokemon, type it in. We all have our best students, and I think a best student is consistent. They check blind spots. They have good defensive driving skills. I've had one or two of those in my 24-plus career. I had a young lady who was consistent 4 out of 4 every single time. Great speed control, good mirror checks, good defensive driving. She set a very high standard. And those are once or twice in a lifetime. And I want to shout her out. So if you want to get at that level, you need to come with a defensive driving mindset. Okay? Does the examiner expect you to park perfect or a safe one? Okay? Again, does the examiner expect you to park perfect or a safe one? Let's go ahead and talk about this. Perfect or safe? Type in what you think. Does the examiner expect you to type perfect or safe? All right, so I'm gonna answer the question, and then we got some questions coming in first. Let's look at this question here. Should kids drive on their work and school permit anywhere they want? That's a question that depends on the state you're in. It depends on the province. It depends on the rules. Typically, you need to have a guardian or parent over 21 in the car. So for you to say, hey, I'm 15, I'm going to drive anywhere I want on my permit, probably not. If you're 16 and you are in between level 1 and level 2, it's okay, but you have to look at the rules. Some permits don't allow you to leave the country. You can't go to Canada. You can't go to the Cayman Islands. In North Carolina, you cannot drive with a permit. So it varies. What do I do when the examiner said for the road test? You got to be mentally ready to go. You got to think safety first. And this ties into our question. Does the examiner expect you to park perfect or safe? Okay, that's a very good question. The examiner expects you to park safely over being perfect. Safe and legal over perfect. Controlled corrections beat rushed, risky attempts. It's really important that you want to avoid those risky attempts. Next. Let's keep going. Can you have up to 3 places to go while writing down the thing? You want to make sure you have good information. You want to have a good standard. You want to write everything down I'm talking about because I'm giving you real information, the top 100 proven through the United States and the UK data that causes you to fail. Let's go ahead and talk about this next. Is it okay to reposition in my first attempt or is it bad? Repositioning in terms of parking. So I want all of you to think about that first because a lot of people have questions on parking. What do I do? How do I lock this in? And we're going to go ahead and talk about this. Generally, sorry, baby. Didn't mean to do that. Generally, yes, it is okay to reposition within the reason of panicking, of forcing it makes it worse than calm, controlled maneuvers. So you want to make it calm, you want to make it relaxed, and you want to lock in. So it's really important that you lock in. What's up? How you doing? I'm blessed. What's your question?
So when I do my road test, then what will be examiner say?
Your examiner wants you to be consistent and safe. They want you to follow all the rules on the road, having great speed control, knowing the rules at intersections, and using your blinker.
Yeah, then I have to check if when I do left turn, then I have to check a mirror, right?
If you do safe maneuvers, then you will be consistent. You have to be consistent.
Can you tell me how to pass road test?
Yes, I'm going through it right now. They're the top 100 things. You want to have steering control. If you don't have good steering control, you will struggle to keep the vehicle in the lane. You'll struggle to have maneuvers. I'm going through the list, so allow me to say it. Steering control actually being scored smooth, hand over hand position is important. Jerky, overconfident hands leads to the car being all over the road.
Yeah, if I have any question, then you can call me. Okay.
Okay, you lock me in. Thank you.
Yeah, I will request you. Yeah, you can. If I have any question for driving,
Okay,
then I will ask you.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you. All right.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right, let's keep going, guys. Do I fail using one hand on the wheel? Do you fail using one hand on the wheel? Good question. I want you to take the time and answer that. So I want you to take a moment to answer that. The question is, do I fail for using one hand on the wheel? All right, let's break this down. So the question is, do I fail for using one hand on the wheel? Not automatically. So I need all of you to remember this. If you're still here, please type yes into the chat. Again, if you are still here, type yes into the chat. The question is, do I fail for using one hand on the wheel? Not automatically, but consistently poor control technique is a commonly cited fail category. So for all you guys and ladies trying to palm the wheel, you're going to end up failing. So I would not recommend you palm the wheel. Time out. Yes. Hi. I'm on live. I'll be done in a moment. All right, guys, I'm back. Let's keep it real. We're having fun. And this is how we learn. Okay? So let's go ahead and break it down. So get in your request. Put it in. All right, so let's talk about this. I want to go over this again because I get a lot of questions on this. You got a request? Pop it in. All right, let's keep going. Do I fail for using one hand? Not automatically, but consistently using poor control techniques is a common fail. I know this from being a teacher. If you're going to use one hand, you're probably going to end up failing because you're going to end up crashing. But a lot of drivers, particularly young drivers under 24, don't believe us. And I'd rather tell you and have you get mad and then tell you and have you crash. Okay? Next, what's the biggest control mistake at low speed? Again, what is the biggest control mistake at low speed? A really good question. The biggest control mistake at low speed. Let's go ahead and lock this in. Okay? Well, D, you with the wrong one because your teacher is not teaching you the right way. You want to make sure you're safe, and safety is no accident. So if you're serious, come on the live. A lot of people like to say, my teacher this, my teacher that, but the reality is, if you're driving in a dangerous manner, you're going to increase your odds of crashing. That is so true. Okay? You can have your seat way back. That's fine. As long as you drive safe, you can have your seat on the floor. Real talk. But you won't be able to see. Okay? Safety is no accident. That is so important. And a lot of people say they're safe, or they say this or say that, but come on the live. Okay? Let's talk. I'm here. We're live. We're talking about it. A lot of people like to say stuff, but when they come to talk to their instructor or teacher, they don't really say anything. It's crickets. Yeah, it's crickets. So if you want to talk, come on the live. If not, keep it moving. All right, so we're talking about the biggest mistake at low speed maneuvers. It's riding the brake or over accelerating in tight spaces. Riding the brake or over accelerating in tight spaces. This is going to lead to you sideswiping your car, hitting a car, smashing your bumper, smashing your door. Okay? A lot of people say, my dad does this, my dad does that. I'm not your dad. I'm teaching you guys how to drive. So I know your dad's your role model, and he should be. Your mom's your role model, and she should be. But at one point, you're going to become your own man or your own woman. And for someone to say, my dad or mom never wears a seatbelt, that's unsafe. So I don't believe you. So the biggest mistake is riding the brake or over accelerating in tight spaces. Smooth, minimal inputs that are what the examiner wants to see. I want to see you being smooth, parallel parking consistently, lining up, turning hand over hand to the right. No, of course I don't believe you because you're talking nonsense. You want to come on the live and talk? Come on in. A lot of people talk nonsense because they're hiding behind the screen, but when it's time to talk in live, they don't. So I'm here. Join the live. We got spots. So we're about safety. We're about defensive driving. And typically when people say stuff out of pocket, they're just saying stuff out of pocket. Okay? Really important. Does stalling the car fail me? Okay, we're talking about driving a manual. You're stalling the car. And I always like to speak truth. Come and join this live. I'm right here. I'm going live every day. Join it. Okay, does stalling the car fail me? A single stall usually doesn't. Repeated stalling shows a control pattern that typically does. Come on today. Don't come on tomorrow. Right here. Tomorrow's not promised. D, come on in right now. Okay? Don't say I'm sleeping. I'm here. I'm putting in work. Really important that we all put in work. We all lock in together. Okay? And we're all putting in work. And this is how we grow. So don't sleep on it today. I'm here. So if you repeatedly do a dangerous maneuver, stalling the car, turning improperly, that's going to lead to failure. I don't believe you because you said your dad drives with no seatbelt on. So you and your dad are dangerous. Have you and your dad come on. I'm here. All right, let's keep it going. Next, are three-point turns still relevant if I've never done one in real life? Three-point turns, are they relevant? Let's go ahead and break this down. They're tested on your spatial judgment and control, not the specific maneuver, which does transfer to your daily driving. Example, D is saying his daddy this, his daddy that. He's too tired to come on the live. Come on right now. Have your dad come on. Let's talk. He's asleep. Wake him up. Okay, I'm going back what he said. Crazy how you don't believe someone that drives with their dad every day. That's your dad. I'm going back. He thinks it's okay not to wear a seatbelt. You and I both know, community, it's dangerous not to wear your seatbelt. In a collision, you'll fly out of the car. Your face will hit the dashboard. So what D is saying is totally irrelevant. Okay? So don't be like D. Wear your seatbelt. Be safe. And I'm giving D an invitation right now to come on the live. He's not going to come on because he's not real. His dad's not real. Come on right now. Always wear your seatbelt. That's an automatic fail. We talked about that in the first one. All right, let's keep going. What is the most overlooked control skill? What is the overlooked control skill? Okay, most overlooked control skill. Smooth, gradual braking is the most overlooked control skill. If you're slamming brakes at sudden stops, and even more frequently Logged fails because this suggests you have poor following distance, a late reaction time. Beginner drivers tend to do that. They have poor reaction skills and they have a poor following distance. Okay, that is really important. Hi, how are you? Let's keep going. We're going to get right to 50. Category 5, speed, position, lane discipline. I have a lot of questions on lane line reference points. Very important. Is driving too slow an actual fault? Is driving too slow an actual fault? I'm going to set the timer and you're going to tell me why, yes or no. All right, let's hit it. Speed, position, lane discipline. Is driving too slow an actual fault? The answer is yes. Under driving the speed limit without cause is treated as a fault in the same category as speeding because it creates its own hazard. So it is really important that we are understanding. Come on the live, D. All you got to do is come on the live. Anyone can type. Let's talk. You say you're rolling without a seatbelt. I don't believe you. And if you're real, come in. Anyone can talk. So driving too slow, yes, it will lead to a failure. It's categorized as speeding because it creates its own hazard. Okay? So that's extremely important that you understand about hazards and faults. Next, we're talking about what is poor positioning usually mean on a score sheet. Poor positioning. Okay? What is a poor positioning usually mean on a score sheet? Drifting toward the center line, hugging the curb, or not actually centered in your lane. Okay? You have to be consistent. And we want to stay consistent as we keep rolling forward, staying consistent in our driving, in our approach, and learning to drive. Stay consistent. Next, do I need to match traffic flow or the posted speed limit exactly? Another great question many of you will ask. And the legal answer is, and I'm going to give that to you because we're all talking about the rules that force people to fail, whether it's the United States or the UK. And we're talking about, do I need to match the speed and the flow or the posted limit exactly? The posted limit is the legal ceiling, but full command of your position within the lane matters just as much as the number on the speedometer. Okay? I understand why you're banned, because you don't follow the rules. If I don't follow the rules, I'll be banned too, but I follow the rules. What's up, Jay? So we want to make sure that we're locked in. We want to wear a seatbelt. We want to have great speed control. Okay? What is the most common lane positioning mistake? Really important, lane positioning mistake. Okay, we're talking about mistakes that can cause you to fail. And again, we're putting this in. Failing to fully commit to a lane change or drifting mid-move. Examiners are trained to catch indecisive lane transitions. This is so important. We want you locked in. We want you trained. We want you to understand, you must examine and create vehicle control. So important. Next, does turning into the wrong lane after a turn count against me? You guys understand one of my critical things that I always say to you, and many of you try to roast me when you look at my video, okay? And the answer is, does turning into the wrong lane after a turn count against me? Yes, it does. Correct lane selection after a turn is a specifically scored skill, not just a turn itself. We always turn in the nearest lane. If you're making a right turn and the right lane is open by the curb lane, you turn in that lane. It facilitates a smoother flow of traffic. If you're making a left turn and you can turn by the double yellow, it facilitates a smoother flow of traffic, a short, shallow turn. I recall my driver tonight, she made a left turn. She was heading wide toward the curb lane. I had to turn the wheel a little bit to the left to get her in that lane. It's really important that you are aware and you really want to be important. So you have to turn in the nearest lane. Lane selection is very important. If you turn in the wrong lane, that is considered a dangerous maneuver. Number 46. Why does speed feel so much harder to judge on test day than in practice? Again, why does speed feel so much harder in test day than in practice? Nerves compress your sense of time. You're going to be nervous. This is one of the most cited reasons instructors give for otherwise skilled drivers misjudge the speed under evaluation conditions. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be stressed. So we want you to what? Take your time. It's so important. Take your time, lock in. Is following too closely a big deal if I never hit anyone? Again, is following too closely a big deal if I never hit anyone? Let's go ahead and talk about this. Following distance is scored independently of outcome. It's a proactive risk indicator, not a reactive one. So what does this mean? Stop following so closely. Leave space. Beginning drivers struggle with this. It's really important. What's up, Jay? How are you doing? Another great question. Do school zones and construction zones get extra scrutiny? Yes. Reduced clearly conforming speeds in these zones is one of the most heavily weighed situational checks. School zones, construction zones, you going to high school, leaving high school, you saying random stuff about your seatbelt and your daddy this and your mama that. No one cares. It's really about locking in. And it's really about making a commitment to learn how to drive. We're about making a commitment. And we're about telling truth, not random stuff. What is the single best speed relative to fail pattern? Again, what is the single best speed relative to fail pattern? not speed itself. It's the failure to adjust speed for the conditions. This is turns, weather, traffic density that gets flagged the most. Again, your turns, you're going too fast. Your weather is snow, raining, fog, and traffic density. If this was valuable to you today, type yes in the chat. If this was valuable to you, you learned something today, type yes in the chat. Type yes. And it's really important that we all lock in and do a great job. And when you lock in and do a good job, you will be removed. And you'll be removed. So what I need you to do is think about what's the most important fault you heard today. What's the most important fault you heard today, and what are you going to do to change those faults? What's the most important fault or failure you heard today, and what are you going to do to change those faults? Think about what you learned today, and I will be live tomorrow.